KGB presents on one big swinging bill, the Beach Boys.
Good morning and welcome to The New Movement, the program where we interview the greatest minds of our lifetime. Today we have a very special and controversial artist of this century. But before introducing you to this great person, it is quite important for us to announce the weather.
Today's weather forecast was brought to you by Licenciado Valeriano, the best lawyer ever.
The weather for today, September 16th, 1967, is quite cloudy, with a lot of thunderstorms, so we suggest you not going outside for any reason, just listen to a radio. And now, back to the interview. So, who could it be? Today's surprise visitor is Marcel Duchamp. Henry Robert Marcel Duchamp was born on the 28th of July 1887, and he is a French-American painter, sculptor, chess player, and writer, whose work is associated with Cubism, data, and conceptual art. Oh, and I almost forget. Here we also have Peter, which is Duchamp's youngest son. So Peter, what can you tell us about the start of your dad's career?
My father started his career when his older brothers taught him to paint when he was very young. You see, my grandfather was a notary, but my family had been into art since I can remember, so it was not difficult for my father to start painting. His career started with some cubism, although he really criticized this technique and moved into something more, let's say, shocking ways of representing art. My father did not feel as if any of his techniques worked well. He never settled down. He was a revolutionary and he did not want public acceptance. He wanted to convey his message in any way possible. So I can say that he felt everything he did was fine with him.
So Marcel, what can you tell us about your different techniques throughout your life career?
Well, I did use a lot of techniques throughout my career, but I can say that I am an important influence in Dadaism, even though I am sometimes considered an anti-artist, as I did not show any respect by art itself. I like to think that art is not the physical object of the artwork itself, but the message that it conveys.
Alright, and what have you discovered about working with different techniques and materials?
The people eventually felt the same way I did. People did start to respect my artworks. I felt really proud about this, and I did not care if people copied my work, as money was not important to me.
Thanks for your answer. Now we'll go to a short break. Are you looking for a divorce? Are you fighting in a legal counsel? Do you want to sue someone? Then think no more and call
Licenciado Valeriano,
For more information, dial
555-218. Yeah, that's 555-218.
Alrighty then. Thanks to Licenciado Valeriano for supporting our show. And now let's go back to the interview. So Marcel, did you find any challenges throughout your career? And if so, how did you deal with them?
For some people, my artworks are very shocking sometimes. For example, when I interpreted a funeral as an art piece, I was very criticized.
Alright. And so, where did you find inspiration for creating such wonderful art?
I have a constant preoccupation regarding the mechanisms of desire and human sexuality. I try to relate this with my studies of perspective and optics with kinetic objects.
That's really great. So, tell us, what artists have influenced you and why?
Oh, I consider Odilon Redon my hero and inspiration. He is what most people know as an avant-garde. They are people that are experimental, radical, and unorthodox with respect to art, culture, and society. Most of the public don't accept their works, but I love how they go against common art and what is supposed to be beautiful.
Are there any cultural or environmental influences in your works?
Some critics may say that my works have some kind of surrealist inspiration or influence, but I steadfastly refused to be affiliated with any kind of artistic move. Nevertheless, I studied Fauvism, Cubism, and Impressionism at the Académie Julian in Paris. There, I was captivated by the new approaches to color and structure. Maybe that's why I try to reorder the reality in my works.
How would you like the audience to engage with all your work?
I insist that art should be driven by ideas above all. This means adding the most common objects in a way that the concept represents something else and powerful. I have coined the term ready-made, in which I take out of their context some mass-produced everyday objects to express a different concept. For some people, simple objects could not represent any art, but it's the meaning in what I focus on.
How would you install your work if you could create your dream exhibition?
I think just like I have been doing. My exhibitions were and are quite radical for the time. For example, my work Fountain is just a urinal which I focus to be an art piece.
Also, if you're watching this from your TV, you can appreciate some of the most important and representative artworks of Marcel Duchamp. And so, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. If you like to hear more about some representative artists and great minds of this century, you can tune on this station every Thursday at 11 p.m. And remember, if you don't call Licenciado Valeriano, he'll call you. Thank you very much and have a great afternoon.